Hello everyone and welcome to episode 100. That's right, triple digits. We have hit episode 100 of Two Left Thumbs, your source of weekly gaming news and updates. In this week's episode, Static has some stories to tell me about something he's been keeping very secret. Apparently I'm going to be shocked, and you will be too. We'll also be
It's egregious.
It's terrible. We'll also be going over the Game of the Year nominees for this year, and that's pretty well it. Aside from having the best weekly deals from a range of publishers across all gaming platforms. Remember guys, we're back up now. I've been a bit slack. We're here, so if you could really help us out and share us on all the socials, I promise I'm going to get the Twitter up again in the next week or so. And yeah, just go ahead, like the episode, follow us on Twitter, join a Discord if you want to. Tell people about us, you know. We love to talk video games. If you find people that like talking about video games, send them our way and we'll talk video games and it'll be amazing. My name is Deft Puppies. Joined with me, like old times, the man who treats his new video games like collectibles. Static Gods, how are you, mate?
Oh, you have no idea how accurate that is.
I know. It's so good.
That's the best. It is extremely accurate. Oh, I'm very good, thank you. Did we talk about last week? Did we talk about what game I'm up to? I can't remember what game it was I was up to at that point.
I think we talked about you were chasing down an achievement in Watch Dogs 2 and you hadn't got it. I think that's where we're at. You'd finished Titanfall. You'd platinumed that and you were working on Watch Dogs 2, but you had an RNG son of a bitch chase down. Okay,
so there was Watch Dogs 2 I got. That wasn't too bad. It was the original Watch Dogs that I went to. Went and played that, and the very last trophy after everything was done was one single song that you had to find of one person in this vast city. Random drop, random chance that you're going to find this person. I finally found it. That platinum's done. I've now moved on to.
No, just wait. I need to know more about this person. Is very important. I need to know which NPC it was, what they look like.
It was a little old lady with, you know, one of those little sort of kind of beanies that have got the little dangly pom-poms either side of it.
Yeah.
I literally could have, if there was like a hug emoji or something in the game, I would have gone and given her a pixel hug.
So how many hours do you think spent chasing that one down?
6.
6 hours.
At least 6 hours chasing that. Not at once, not all at once, because reasons. There's no way I could sit there for 6 hours just trying to get that. But yeah, so that's done. I could have, pixel hugs were going on everywhere. So as you know, I have Watch Dogs Legion. I have Dirt 5.
Oh, which one are you breaking the seal on first?
0. Neither of them.
Oh no.
I've downloaded, uploaded. Downloaded, I think it's called downloading, right? When you put the disc in and then you load the game into your machine.
Yeah. You upload it to download it.
It's loaded. It's loaded, right? So I've loaded Legion, Watch Dogs Legion, but as I was doing that, I was deleting Watch Dogs off. There was another game staring at me called Dirt 4.
Oh no.
I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get into Dirt 5, so I better get the platinum for Dirt 4.
Shit.
So that's where I'm at.
You're a menace to yourself, man.
I am. I'm about 55% of the way through that.
Is it a difficult platinum, do you think? Or
it's not so much difficult. You've just got to play the game.
Right.
And when you get into it, it's a long game to play, but only because you're chasing the trophies. So it's probably not that long to play as long as you stay into it. But as you get further along, because they sort of works, the career works in like championships. So as you get further along and better at these championships, the championships get longer and longer and longer. So by the end of it, the last one's probably going to be about 3 hours worth of gameplay. And I'm kind of staring down the barrel of that. I'm just like, that can wait. There's heaps of other little ones that I can go and do.
Do the hardest one last. Or the biggest pain in the ass one last.
That's generally how I punish myself, yeah. So
yeah.
I'm thinking I'll get that done at some point before I need to get the last one done. But I don't want that to be the last one. It's going to be terrible. I don't have too many of the career ones left to go. It's like multiplayer, and again, very surprised there's multiplayer. Dirt 4.
What? Are you saying racing games have multiplayer? Hang on.
Well,
I'm just editing the news right now. I'm just gonna
racing
Dirt
games
4, you said, right? Yeah. Racing games.
No, the point I was trying to make, sorry, was the fact that the game's probably 4 or 5 years old now, and you can still get multiplayer lobbies in it.
Oh, right. So yeah, I'm not an asshole.
So yeah, thanks, asshole. So I think the same thing that happened with the Watch Dogs games that I've been playing might have happened again with Dirt. You know, Dirt 5 coming out. It's a $99. It's a $100 game. If you shop and be thrifty, you might get it for $80. It's still an expensive game, so you could pick Dirt 4 up for like $10. So it might be a bit of a case of that as well.
To confuse grandparents, perhaps.
Potentially, yeah.
Potentially.
So yeah, that's
good
me.
to see. I'm glad to see some older games,
Yeah,
getting some love. I mean, even if it is only from the small amount of achievement hunters, it's good to see like their multiplayer years on is still kind of ticking along a little bit, and people are still enjoying them.
Yeah, so that's where I'm at. Once I get that done, then I'll get into Legion. I felt like I needed to sort of chop it up because there was so much Watch Dogs that went on. I'm like, I'm going to load it, and then it sat there loading. I'm like, I'm going to play Dirt 4 because I don't have to load that. It's already there, and I'll see where I'm at. I didn't realize how far back I was as far as the trophy count went. I was only like 10% into it. So
right.
I sort of started that and went, well, I've started it now, so I better finish that. Then I get into Legion. Then I'll get into Dirt 5.
Right.
That's the
I'm
plan.
holding you to that too.
That's the plan.
I'm waiting for another. You'll be like, so I went to open a Watch Dogs, and this game was just staring at me. It's from 1843. It still holds up.
Yeah, it's called Asteroid. I don't know if you've heard it.
Asteroid.
Yeah, so that's my plan. As I get these platinums done, I'm deleting the game off the console. So obviously I still own them. I still have them, but then I can put new ones on, and I don't get tempted anymore. So
fair.
That's where I'm at.
Right. Nice.
What about yourself? Where are you at? What have you been up to?
I've been just still playing Assassin's Creed.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. You'll be there for the next year or two.
Forever. Yeah. Like, I'm Cyberpunk around the corner. I'm just like, oh, am I going to get the base story? Because apparently I've been seeing reports of this story going for about 70 hours. Given the handicap that I've put on myself throughout the gameplay, it's probably going to take me around 80 or 90 or 100 hours to get through the story, which is fun.
So you've sort of given yourself like a Death Stranding sentence, essentially.
Yeah, pretty well. Yeah, it's
cool.
Sure,
cool.
But it's having fun. I checked out my because there's stats now for the game. I checked out my kill count. I have 666 light shield kills.
You can no longer kill anyone without.
I know. I'm switching to heavy shields and using nothing else.
Because you were running double shields, weren't you?
Yeah, just running double shields. So for a long time, I just had 2 lights because that's all I can get my hands on. And now I have a light and a heavy. So I've been leaning on the heavy a bit more because it does a bit more damage. But I just found a perk in their weird constellation skill tree that is you can dual wield heavy items.
Nice. So now
I'm going to have 2 giant
heavy shields.
And I'm going to be slow.
I was going to say, does this impact your movement in the game? I remember having...
It impacts my attack speed. Like a heavy weapon in general, you have a slower swing because it does heavy damage. The way they kind of balance it, lighter weapons like light swords and shields and stuff like that, you can move a bit faster, but you're doing less damage. So it's generally balanced that way. But it's been fun. The map isn't as daunting as Odyssey, but it's just as full of stuff. It's just none of it is really kind of there. You kind of left finding a lot of it, which is really cool. Like I think because my wife's playing it as well. She's a little bit further ahead of me, and she's like, "Oh, I found this really cool thing." And like when you find it, it's like she tries not to spoil it for me. So I tries to give you a rough idea. Like I know there's a I've seen it online too. There's a Prodigy like the band Easter egg in there. There's a whole quest.
Oh, really? That's really cool.
There's a guy that looks like the lead singer,
Like Keith Flint, yeah.
like Keith Flint, and you do this quest for him, and at the end of the quest he starts singing "Smack My Bishop."
Smack.
And then the quest comes up with Prodigy.
So
it's fucking brilliant, and there's lots
that
of little
so
Easter
good,
eggs in
man.
there. There's a Harry Potter Horcrux list in there as well. Lots of little things kind of poked around. I think that's really fun with open world games, just having lots of really cool kind of wacky Easter eggs in there, which is a lot of fun. So yeah, I'm continuing on with that. I'm sure I'll make some progress at some point. The other thing I've been doing, it's a little weird, but I've been playing Destiny 2 again.
Whoa.
But I've been playing it on my phone with a PlayStation controller
Okay.
on Xbox Game Pass.
I was about to say, because that would be the Xbox too. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so I got I think we were speaking about this last week. It was just before, not last week, last fortnight.
Yes.
The week before, just before the cast, I got accepted into the beta for the xCloud service, and it's really fucking good, man. Like
It's holding up well, yeah.
It's holding up well. My Wi-Fi isn't fantastic. Like I'm only running 2.5 gig, and apparently the service, if you're on Wi-Fi, prefers a 5 gig connection. So if that's something you're looking at, to be wary of, if like it works, you get a little bit of stutter here and there, and it kind of pulls you out of it. But I actually found it worked better on my 4G. It was actually stronger on my mobile network than it was on my Wi-Fi, which was a little insulting. Right. But it was
Australia. Australia
worked absolutely flawlessly. Like I've the only controller I have at the moment that's Bluetooth, because you need a Bluetooth controller to play is my PlayStation controllers, because I've only got the older Elite.
That's right. That's right. You're talking about wanting a Bluetooth Xbox One.
Yeah. So I'm planning getting one of those eventually, like the little clip-on ones on the side, so I can take it on the train and shit and have like an Xbox version of the Switch, which would be great. But yeah, works well. Again, Destiny Beyond Light it's okay. It's all right. Like as far as what it is, I'm playing it on Game Pass. I'm paid for it. Well, not paid for the thing directly. And I've actually kind of enjoyed it. The new subclass, which I've just unlocked as of tonight, is very chaotic and a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to kind of getting in and fucking around with that a bit more. Hopefully leveling up and getting into the new raid at some point too, which would be great.
Yeah, nice.
But yeah, the service itself really good. There are a couple of games on there you can play without a controller. I think Minecraft Dungeons is one of them, and Senua's Sacrifice is the other one.
Ooh, how would that work?
You can, I'll tell you what, I will try it out this week. I'll go back and I'll play.
Guinea pig.
Minecraft Dungeons I can see working. It'll be a joystick on phone kind of deal.
Yeah.
Senua's Sacrifice had slightly more complicated control, so it'd be interesting to see how that works. I mean, that's a fucking phenomenal game.
There's a lot of reflexes needed in that game, and
yeah. So that'll be my homework this week, is getting in and kind of seeing what you can do without a controller as well. But connects easily enough. It's just connecting the controller to your phone, which is fairly straightforward. More straightforward than reconnecting the PlayStation controller to the PlayStation.
Yes.
Oh, you need a cord and you've got to press this button. I was like, can't I just press two buttons like on the Xbox and it works? Can we just... Why is it so convoluted, PlayStation? Like,
it's dumb as shit.
Yeah, it is. Bad. I've heard the PlayStation 5's a lot better. They've also got Steam integration with the PS5 controller, which is great as well, because they didn't have that. They didn't have that for the PlayStation 4, which was kind of infuriating for a lot of people who were making a transition to PC and only had a PlayStation controller. But yeah, it's good. That's pretty well. Yeah, that's me this week. Not a lot.
So the big question from that: did you jump into a Crucible match? Could you play Crucible on your phone?
You can.
Yeah.
You can. I played some story. I did like. I went like proper science on it, and I like did some story. I'm like, I'll try it. I was shit because I hadn't played Destiny in fucking ages. So you know, I was worse than I normally was, which is terrible. But it worked, and my KD was fucked, but it worked.
Yeah.
The only issue realistically was the size of the screen.
Yeah.
Because you know you're on a mobile phone, you've got like 4 inches of screen, so you like, and because I don't have a mount for my controller or anything, I'm like laying on a pillow and I'm like hunched up with like the controller under my chin. I was like, so it's a bit straining on the eye. So if you have access to a larger screen, say a tablet, would be absolutely perfect for it. But again, once I get a controller mount and I have a different configuration, I can see it being pretty bloody good. And there's also talk of it coming to TVs as well, to smart TVs.
Yeah, right.
So you can just stream.
That would be perfect.
Pass on your TV, which would be absolutely brilliant. Which is what Stadia tried to do, and well, we all know how that kind of went down.
I was going to say, how they doing?
They're great. It's fine.
Nice.
Yeah, nice.
Cool, man.
That's it. Should we before you tell me some stories, because I'm nervous and excited and terrified all at the same time. I feel like I'm putting way too much pressure on you now. Should we
That's fine. This is fine.
This is fine. Should we knock over some quick deals?
Yeah, sure.
Sure, why not? All right, so it's end of the month, so things are a little bit weird. PlayStation Plus are still showing a Middle-earth Shadow of War and Hollow Knight Voidheart Edition. Both of those will be leaving within the next 24 hours of recording, so I don't know how much use that is to you guys, but
normally they sort of change around the 6th or 7th of the month.
Yeah,
so I've found a weekend.
Yeah, I found it's been a bit weird because with this whole new gen stuff, PlayStation Plus stuff's been really hard to find. Like the website got really, really convoluted. But there is a bonus. They have a PlayStation 5 bonus. It's a free game on PlayStation 5, which is Bugsnax.
Right.
It's one of their newer exclusives. It's an adorable little game that sets you out hunting down animals that look like food and then feeding them to people so then they look like that food as well. I think that's what's going on. It's kind of weird and like
amazing.
Very like childish in its kind of format. Like it's very happy-go-lucky and very bouncy. But I mean, I haven't heard anything terrible about it, and people seem to be really enjoying it. So it's free.
Very sinister.
And if you don't have a piece of PlayStation 5 now, you can download it from. You can just download it to your library now, and when you get PlayStation 5, if you get there, you'll have that game ready and waiting for you. So it might be worth going to the website and which I'll probably be doing as well. Going to the website and grabbing that while you can. Again, I'm not sure how long that's going to be there for, so I'd get in as soon as you can.
I'll be back.
Yeah. Deals, I can't find them for PlayStation. Again, the website's been weird for me. I'll keep working on that, I promise. Over on Xbox this week, games with gold are The Raven Remastered and Saints Row Get Out of Hell. Raven Remastered I've never heard of. Saints Row is always a good time.
Get Out of Hell was a really odd game.
Yeah,
it's the Saints Row sort of franchise went along the Grand Theft Auto sort of model, but Get Out of Hell, you were in hell, so it was like GTA in hell, and yeah, it was really odd. I played it for like a couple of hours and got bored of it pretty quickly. Yeah, it was very strange, but Was it a freebie or was it a?
Yeah, that's a freebie on Games with Gold.
That's a freebie.
It might be worth checking out if you haven't.
Have a look.
You're interested in the series.
You might dig it. I didn't.
Over on Deals with Gold this week, we have My Friend Pedro for $17.97. This is, I love this game just because it's bullets and bananas. That is the tagline. It's a
what's not to like.
What's not to like? It's a kind of action 2D platformer deal where you do flips and shoot shit as a banana. So, fuck yeah, let's go.
I've heard nothing but good about that game. Our good friends over at Respawn. I don't know whatever happened to those guys, but they absolutely loved it. They raved about it, and yeah, it was a good one.
It was good. I've had it on. I think it's on Game Pass too. Actually, I've been meaning to. It's always kind of. I've looked at it and gone, I should play that one day. And then I do the static thing and get distracted by something else.
One day.
One day I'll get that. I promise. Maybe. Over on Switch this week, we have Borderlands Game of the Year Edition for $18. We all know how I feel about Borderlands, but Borderlands
Actually, we
game.
don't. We don't, because you don't.
No. Would you like to hear about how much I dislike Borderlands, but love it at the same time? But yes, Borderlands. A lot of people like it. It's a good game. $18 on the Switch. I mean, why not play Borderlands while taking a dump?
That is the best sales pitch ever.
Is that not the best sales pitch for Borderlands ever? I mean,
Yep.
Brilliant.
Yep.
Yeah. Over on the Epic Store this week, we have Mud Runner, which is a car driving, driving sim thing. I don't know. I've watched it just Mud Runner. It's just Mud Runner, yeah.
Okay, so it's actually quite a well built game. I don't get the premise behind it. I don't see how they were trying to draw people in with it. But you drive big trucks, and you've got to pick up logs, and you've got to take them places. But the physics in it are quite real. You get stuck places. You've got to obviously run through mud with all this extra weight. You've got to account for that. You've got to pick your line right. If you don't, you get stuck. You've got to get yourself out and deliver this your lumber, I guess. So the premise of the game is very odd. And it's not something that you could really sink your teeth into, but the physics of the game are really good. So kind of one outweighs the other.
Yeah, so if I guess you're into driving, not driving sims, I guess, but full driving.
Yeah.
Might be something worth looking at.
Yep.
Yeah. That's it. That's deals this week. Static.
Story time.
Take the floor, sir. Tell me what you got.
All right. So this is sort of where our two worlds kind of combine, right? This is our gaming into the world of automotive. You guys might have heard of a small Aussie automotive YouTube channel, Mighty Car Mods. They're quite small. They've only got 3.4 million subscribers. They normally build cars in pairs, like essentially to sort of, with the end game being to sort of battle them head to head, or they'll build one to sort of battle against one of their existing cars that are in their massive stable of cars that they've built to battle head to head. So this particular story started with just a classic baller YouTuber move of buying like an exotic or supercar. They bought a Lotus Exige. I think it was a 240S. It's quite an up there. I think there's only 6 of them in Australia, and they got a black one. There's only 3 of those. Apparently, there's 3 orange and 3 black ones in Australia, and they got a black one. So, classic baller move. That's how you know you've hit the height and the peak of YouTuber status.
Buying expensive cars.
Buying expensive car this was a surprise, right, for their audience, because normally they just buy shit boxes, mod them, and battle against each other with them on a track. They've sort of been getting.
Sorry, I haven't heard of these guys at all. So, for those as well who haven't, what does this battling entail? I feel like that's going to be important later on. Important-ish.
So they will have they'll generally use a racetrack. So they've used Sydney Motorsport Park quite a bit. They've used Luddenham Raceway quite a bit. And Sydney Motorsport Park has like a lot of different areas. So they've used like the drag strip car park a fair bit. They've used the actual track for track days and things like that. So it just depends on what kind of cars they build and what kind of battles they want to do together, you know what I mean?
So it'll be something along the lines of drag racing, drifting, general racing.
Yeah, but they'll be they'll be really odd cars. So the biggest ones of note lately, they've built a one of the guys has built a WRX STI, 2-door STI, and the other one sort of bought and modded up a Subaru BRZ. So the Subaru BRZ is like the latest model of, funnily enough, it's a Subaru, but they then also, Toyota took a badge, like took this car, put their badges on it, and called it the AE86 or GT86. But so they've kind of battled like an older format or older platform against a new platform, and modded it up and did a whole series on that. So that's the biggest one of note. But that was more serious track days. Sorry, I just smacked my microphone. So that was more serious track days, and that's kind of where they're leading. So this Lotus sort of thing, it definitely sort of adds up. So what they then did was they announced that they had a second car that was potentially meant to battle with the Lotus. It was something that was never actually said, but like absolutely hinted at, that this thing was meant to battle with it. And they revealed it in a couple of episodes later. It was a BMW E30, which is like a mid to late 80s sort of BMW. It's an okay platform. They'd been used a bit for drift cars and things like that. The motor in this thing was absolutely cooked, so they needed to replace the motor, and they were sort of umming and ahhing and making the audience guess, sort of starting to build up a bit of an audience investment in this car. They started to make them guess at what motor they're going to put into it and all that sort of gear, which is what they normally do. You know, it's their normal formula. They've gone into that, but then all of a sudden, like episode 2 of this build, right, they've gone with a super obvious choice of a like a Chev, like I guess a Chev platform, like LS3 motor, which is a V8, very common in just about everything Holden that's V8 these days, right through your Chevy range. So it's a very common conversion. They literally bought an off-the-shelf bolt-in kit for this motor to put into this car. Now, out of 6 episodes, which is very unusual for a car build, to have only six episodes, and one of them wasn't actually really an episode on it. It was like just a parting statement. 3 episodes. By the end of the 3rd episode, they had the motor in. They had it all wired. They had an aftermarket ECU put in. It was running and driving. So normally they spend a lot of time sort of building like an audience investment as far as time and whatever else into the cars and all that sort of gear, and get the audience really connected with these cars. So 3 episodes, which were literally back to back, like day for day. It was like 3 days in a row, bang, bang, bang. All this stuff had happened. So it's very unusual for them. Then episode 4 came out with a massive announcement of an involvement from a not developer, from a gaming publisher. Have a guess who that might be.
Maybe Turn 10?
No, okay. Way off.
No. Way off.
Activision.
Oh, Activision, right. Okay, cool. Yep. I was thinking too small. My bad.
Yep. So, you know what? Everybody would have guessed that. If someone's going to sort of get into that, and like Playground Games, Turn 10, someone like that, going to get involved. No, Activision. Right. So this is now a paid sponsored car to advertise Black Ops Cold War.
Right.
And only 4 episodes into the build. So, like I said, there's 6 episodes in this whole build altogether. Right, the last one's a parting statement. So, essentially, there's only 5 episodes in this build. Mm-hmm. Video episode number 4 was when the announcement was made. You would know as well as I know that if these things are as paid sponsorship, they're done. They're organised well in advance. And anybody, especially YouTubers of this magnitude, are pushing that straight away. You know what I mean? Like, they're pushing that sort of stuff as soon as they know it. Yeah. So video 1, they would have known that this is
They would have known this is happening. They had this entire thing going on, yeah.
So what this says to me is that they had no idea what it was at the start. They just knew that they had to buy something, had to get something, and had to do an engine conversion on it. It went crazy, man. They it wasn't just that. Like, that's pretty egregious in itself. The fact that it was like, even like for their audience who normally get very invested in what it is that they're doing and the comments go nuts and all that sort of stuff.
Just to kind of turn around and go, you know what, fuck it, we're doing this paid promotion from fucking Activision now. Out of nowhere. Because I mean, it's not even like, I mean, does Activision have that many car games?
None.
So they're just like.
So the idea was that this BMW was meant to be something that you would use in the game. Like, well, that doesn't work at all. Like, it doesn't even fit a car type that you would use in the game. So, but what they did, they added just craziness. It was going to be a spy car. So they've added smoke machines into the car. They've added like a number plate, like a hidden number plate system, so that they actually had a keyboard as well. So you actually had to type a command in via a physical keyboard. They pretty much put a command into the tablet that then controlled this smoke screen that they had, which took like 5 minutes. Would have taken at least 5 minutes to fully engulf this car. So the idea of having a smoke screen so you can poof and get away would have taken it. Not exactly, you know what I mean? And then like a hidden license plates which are completely useless or completely illegal, and then a bunch of other useless illegal gimmicks. You know what I mean? And all that. It was announced 4 episodes into essentially a 5 episode build. So yeah, that screams to me that they didn't even know until the end of episode 3 what this thing was actually going to be.
Yeah, it's a weird situation because, like you said, normally especially with very large deals like this, there's like, you know what's happening well in advance. Like, there's contracts that need to be drawn up. There's negotiations like months in advance. You know this is coming.
Yeah.
Like, no doubt, Activision would have been reaching out well before then. And that seems
you would think so, hey?
It's very fucky. Like, it's not, and also it's not like Activision to like spare of the moment do things either.
No.
Like, I don't know, but they're shitty. They can be a shitty company, but they're very methodical about how they're very shitty.
Yeah. So I don't know if they've seen, they might have someone that works for them that's a fan of these guys and went, well, we need to get in on this, because it was all black, you know what I mean? Like, everything was blacked out on it, and it was very cloak and dagger, I guess. But yes, I don't know if we should really get in on this. We can sort of sell them on this, and I don't look. We can only sort of speculate as to what went on behind the scenes, but to me, it doesn't seem like that started out. Well, it definitely didn't start out like a paid promotion.
Right, because they have to mention it too, don't they? Like,
legally, that kind of thing.
Bound, and they didn't mention anything up until that.
Not up until that episode 4. Yep.
That is weird. I mean, as to why, I can see Activision going, "Hey, all right, we've milked the gamers dry for all they got. It's 2020. Let's try and grab somebody else," you know. And then you go to, all right, where do we go next? You know, you're like, right, well, these guys are popular. Car guys like video games too, right? Yeah. I mean, I can see it being a very kind of odd marketing decision, trying to break into a different market. And it just, it's weird. I don't know if it was researched. And I like, how was it received within the community though?
Not good. Not well at all. Not well at all. Look, I mean, a lot of the guys, a lot of the comments were, you know what, well done. You know, that you can get a paid sponsorship like that, and you can take that money and you can build something silly. Like, they had a lot of specialists in to sort of work out the computering and all that sort of stuff, like building programs and everything to do what it was that they wanted to do with the gimmicks. So that was, that would have all been paid for. So good on them for getting that money and whatever else, you know what I mean? But the way it was put out was very Activision.
Very Activision.
You know what I mean? So it's, the community were not having it at all. You could definitely see which ones were the gamers and which ones were just a general
players. Cool, you guys, this game company helping you. That's cool. And then you have the games of fucking Activision, man. What are you doing?
Yeah, it was. There was it wasn't so much a divide, but there was like a definite line of people that knew exactly what just happened, You know what I mean? Like, you essentially, like through the whole thing, you kind of got groomed, and it's the way they do their videos anyway. They kind of groom their audience to go, okay, well, they've bought this car, and now they've shown us this one, and they're building this one, so that's going to be a battle there. Well, that's going to be something that they do.
There's a pattern that the people can recognize with what's going on.
It was hinted at the end of like the Lotus sort of episodes as well. So there was that there, and then all of a sudden it was flipped on its head. You can see straight through it. Anyone that was kind of halfway switched on could see straight through it. But then, like just the general YouTube watcher that's into cars and whatever else would have just gone, oh, that's pretty cool. They got a really big sponsorship. But the way it was going about, no one will ever really know. But it's not.
Sponsorships are a weird thing. Like it's nothing I've really had to deal with because I'm not cool enough. But it'd be interesting to see. Like I've always had like an interest in how, like, especially I mean this is part of why I like doing this cast so much is how, like, watching how the gaming industry develops and the tactics that happen, like how they're advertising, like what Microsoft has been doing for like the last fucking 5 years. It's been really interesting to watch and follow and try and kind of pick out what's going on. But this is like one of those things, man. It's like, what the fuck? Where did this come from?
Nobody will ever know what happened. You know what I mean? Like nobody's ever going to come out and say it. But it was just so strange. Like that far into it. Like literally the next video out after they announced it was them taking it to it actually looked like an old sort of Sydney Water abandoned like building or something somewhere. And so they're doing skids and sort of racing around, and then they sort of park it somewhere, and then they try and hit the smoke machine, and you can see that in the 10 seconds or whatever that it was making smoke, but it was just kind of engulfed the back wheel. That was about it. So
you gotta hide the back wheels. They can't shoot them then. That's
So like the video after the announcement was like the last video of the series, and then another one. The one after that was just like a recap and sort of, okay, well we have to take this out, and we need to take this out, which is all the illegal shit that was in it. Like as far as street use goes.
We did all this really cool illegal shit, but for those playing at home, we had to remove them because it's illegal.
Yeah,
because you don't want that. You don't want that kind of legality issue on your hand.
They've kind of lived up to that end of their responsibilities, I guess. But yeah, as far as the sponsorship thing went, I don't know what happened. It definitely feels like Activision jumped on it midstream.
I think what's happened is that they've planned everything out. Activision's kind of jumped in. They've gone, all right, well, we can integrate it into this kind of. And then no doubt Activision would have had, all right, this is what you need to do. Yeah. From what you're telling me, because I don't know these guys, but from what you're telling me, it sounds like what they did for this particular lot of episodes is very unlike their standard format. Like there was no real kind of car battle. It was just kind of, let's do some cool. It was fucking Pimp My Ride YouTube edition.
Yep.
So but I feel like Activision kind of said, hey, you want all this money? You have to do exactly what we say, and you'll get all this money. And I mean, I don't blame them, man. I mean, they would have been given a fucking nice paycheck.
I don't blame them either. They just bought a Lotus. You got to offset that cost somehow. You know what I mean? So, so I definitely can't blame them. Yeah, just the way it was going about was very odd, very shifty.
Yeah, I mean, it's Activision. Is anything ever above board?
Exactly.
Activision. Fucking twats.
This episode is also brought to you by Activision.
Yeah, guys. We've been checking out Cold War recently, and phenomenal game of the year. This is unlike any other Call of Duty you'll ever play again. It has zombies that have zombies.
Zombieception. Yeah,
Zombieception.
Yep.
All
right. That's
Activision.
story time done. Fucking
Oh my
Activision.
god. Fucking I want to cry.
I told you. I told you it was
I
good.
know. I'm like, it's really weird because it's like cars aren't usually a thing. I'm like, you're telling me about all these cars. I'm like, okay, I know nothing about this. I have no idea what you're talking about. And you're like, guess the game company. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, exactly.
Where is this
It
going?
was why it seemed like it was very long-winded, and even sort of explaining it to you felt very long-winded. But there was a reason. I had to kind of paint a picture of how it is that these guys normally structure their stuff.
Yeah,
and,
right. I'm with you.
A lot of people wouldn't realize how it is that they do it, but because of, I guess, what, you know, like from streaming background and trying to do YouTube videos and things like that, we understand a little more of how it is that that sort of stuff works.
Yeah.
And like one of my friends watched it and went, "Oh, that's a mad car." I'm like, "Yeah, but it's just fucking wrong." Like the way it's going is, "Oh, but it's a mad car."
Yeah,
so
they don't
that's
have their souls anymore. Activision has them in a little fucking cage.
Yeah, so I had to sort of explain the way it is that they sort of structure their stuff and how far out of the ordinary this was. So hopefully I got that across. But
yeah, no, it took me a bit to get there, but I got there. Again, you started talking about cars, and I did the same
cars
thing.
ultimately don't matter, but yeah.
Yeah, I do the same thing as when my dad and my brother start talking about cars.
I
just start to glaze. I'm like, no, there's something here. I need to pay attention. I know there's something important coming up.
But that's all right. Most of the people listening to this podcast are probably going to glaze over through that right up until they hear Activision. So
guys,
just rewind half hour.
It's half hour. It's important. It's fine. Everything matters. Fucking Activision. Anyway,
next.
Before I keep ranting about Activision, let's
Told you to get ranty.
Yeah, it's one of my toxic traits. Let's go over Game of the Year nominations, which were released a few days ago, which is fucking cool. There's a bit of a pattern here. I don't know if you'll pick it, but I'm going to read through. I've got all the categories here. There's only about 5 or 6 categories I've got. But you'll notice a pattern straight away. So listen up and let me know if you pick it, guys. So, Game of the Year nominees this year are Animal Crossing New Horizons, Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII, Ghost of Tsushima. Sorry, I had to check if 7 was the right number. I was in Roman numerals. I almost fucked myself up. So, Ghost of Tsushima. 10, 8. Just use numbers, guys. Fuck. Hades. Last of Us Part 2. So they're Game of the Year nominees. Best Game Direction, we have Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Half-Life Alyx, Last of Us Part 2. Best Art Direction, Final Fantasy VII, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Ori Will and the Wisps, Last of Us Part 2. Best Score and Music, Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII, Hades, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, Last of Us Part 2. Best Ongoing Game, Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Call of Duty Warzone, Fortnite, No Man's Sky. Best Indie, Carry On, Fall Guys, Hades, Spelunky 2, Spiritfarer. Best Mobile Game, Among Us, Call of Duty Mobile, Genshin Impact, Legends of Runeterra, and Pokemon Cafe Mix.
Can I just stop you just for a second?
Yep.
Among Us. Game of the Year from 4 years ago.
I know. I didn't even click with that. Oh, wait. Oh, that's right. It was only cool this year, but it was like from 4 years ago. Does that count?
Let's not talk about that, though. It can't, surely.
See, that's the thing.
It wasn't Game of the Year in its year, was it?
Yeah, exactly. What? So, all right, let's start with Among Us, because that was one I didn't pick. I mean, it's a good game. It's fun. But yeah, again, it was released 4 years ago. I thought this was only games that were like released this year, unless it's like best ongoing game, because it's been ongoing through the year. That makes sense. Like, Apex Legends, Destiny, Call of Duty, they've all had releases this year for their game that has been going for years through this year. Among Us is 4 years old. What the fuck is it doing there? I mean, good on them. I'm glad to see it. They're like, it's a comeback story for the fucking ages.
Absolutely. Sorry, I had to point that out.
No, you're good. So congrats to Enderslot for the nomination, but it's so weird. So weird.
That is weird.
So, anyway, back to what I was discussing before. Did you pick up on the pattern there?
I couldn't tell any. I can see any pattern. Jesus.
No
Christ.
pattern of the exact same fucking 5 games for every nomination.
No.
Like the only differing one was indie, ongoing, and mobile, because they're very, very different. And I mean, the games there are great, but
what I did really appreciate is the fact that you actually, because you got into such a rhythm with saying all the same names, you actually started to sound like the announcer at the Game Awards.
You know what?
Well done,
Jeff Kelly, buddy, you listening? I know you are. I know you listen regularly. Hit me up. I'll let you want to do an Activision and spring a last minute deal on me. I'll sign my soul away and get some money. It'll be good.
Who needs a soul anyway? You only need them to open automatic doors. So.
And now for best game direction. But yeah,
Sweet.
so it's the same 5 games. Normally, there's a lot more variation than this. Normally.
Yeah, normally.
Yeah. Great to see Hades up there. I've heard nothing but good things about that. Something I probably won't play because it's not my jam, but Hades has been fucking incredible, apparently. Doom Eternal. I think Doom was there last time it was up too. Like, when Doom was released last for 2016.
Yeah, I think it was.
It was. I mean, maybe it's because 2020 we've had so many games delayed. Possibly.
I don't know.
But it seems really peculiar. I mean, I've got my pick for this year. I have a feeling it'll be Game of the Year. It'll be Ghost of Tsushima, because they did an incredible. Have you played that one?
I've not played it. I've heard nothing but great about it.
Absolutely incredible.
I will eventually. I will eventually play it, and I'll probably play it before Watch Dogs Legion. So who knows?
There you go. Well, I'll send you my copy. But yeah, they've done a multiplayer thing too out of the blue, which I haven't had time to check out yet. But apparently it's pretty awesome as well. So they've kind of covered both aspects, and it was free. It wasn't like a paid DLC. It was just like, hey guys,
that's right. I did hear about that. Yeah.
Here's the game, and it was like totally unannounced. They just did the game, and then like 2 weeks later, like, oh, by the way, here's some multiplayer. It's coming out in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Was the multiplayer good?
Yes, it was. It's a co-op deal. I haven't played it yet. I've been meaning to actually catch up with some people and play it. But you know, with Christmas and my work going back to full time, I haven't had a great deal of time to get into it. But it's sitting there waiting. It's still installed. I'm scared I'm going to get stuck in photo mode. That's the real truth. I'll never come out. Stuck between photo mode, Assassin's Creed, and Cyberpunk, and I'll be in this triple vortex of video game hell where I won't be able to escape. Which isn't a bad thing, but yeah, photo mode will probably kill me. I would have liked to see Half-Life Alyx up there in Game of the Year.
I don't know enough about Half-Life or Half-Life Alyx, because Half-Life Alyx was the VR.
It's the VR one, and it was done really, really well. Really good physics. Gray played it, and I know a lot of other people play it, and like it's changed the way they kind of look at games in general, not just VR games, and how they're kind of presented. And normally when Valve releases something, they don't half-ass it. I mean, it's taken them 10 something years to get Alyx out, but I think I would have liked to see it possibly over The Last of Us 2, the Game of the Year.
Yeah, I'm the way you are with Borderlands. I'm the same with The Last of Us.
Yeah, I know
it's a great game. Everybody loves it. Yeah, I'm meant to love it, but I don't.
See,
I don't even remotely like it.
I played the first one this year So I've finally got a PlayStation. I've played through all the PlayStation classics. And, I mean, it was okay. The story was good. The characters were great. The gameplay was Uncharted 4 reskinned. Basically. It was very, like, there was nothing groundbreaking there. And from what I've heard, 2's gameplay didn't change that much at all. There was a few small mechanics put in. But it was still very just showing its age.
Just a clunky...
Just a kind of clunky third-person cover kind of thing. They had some like more stealth mechanics in there. But there's not a great deal of difference. Story, people are really divided on, which generally is a good thing for games. Some people love it, some people hate it. I prefer that over everyone.
That makes good conversations.
Makes good conversations, and people take away different experiences from that, which is great. I don't know, I just... kind of bummed about Alex. I would have liked to sit up there. Hopefully it gets game direction. That'd be good. But yeah, we need more new ongoing games too. Because it's Apex again for like the 3rd year in a row.
I'm gonna say
Fortnite.
I'm gonna say it so it's voiced and more than my ears hear it. Apex needs to fuck right off.
I know. I know exactly how you feel.
They need to drop it, and they need to actually give us something of worth with some kind of Titanfall title. Yeah.
To be fair though, Respawn did give us that. Again, another game you didn't like, Star Wars, which I thought was great. I'd like to see some more stuff from Respawn. I think that'd be good. I think they're working on another Star Wars game, maybe. Again, different division, but yeah, I'd like to see more Titanfall stuff.
Yes.
You still need to check out. You need to get Ghost Runner. I think you'll like it.
Ah, true. I meant to actually ask you about that. What was that game again? Ghost Runner. Got it.
Ghost Runner. I'll
commit it to memory. I'll ask you about it tomorrow.
I'll message you in the morning. Good morning, Static. Ghost Runner.
Ghost Runner.
Now.
Sweet.
You know what I missed this week? I totally forgot about Black Friday and Cyber Monday. And I was like walking around the store today. I was like, oh, Cyber Monday. And I was like, okay.
Kind of missed the Friday.
I kind of missed the Friday thing. Oh shit. So I didn't get any fucking great deals this week, which is a bit sad.
I always have a habit, and I do it every year. I spend all my money right before the Friday. So all my play money, I've got like all these mad deals thrown at me. I'm like, oh, cool. That would be really good 2 days ago.
When I hadn't just bought something else instead. I did the same thing. It's like, Steam summer sales coming up. I'll get some really good titles, and then all of a sudden I don't have any money, and then it comes and goes because they never release the date until like very close to, which is super inconsiderate, by the way. Steam makes me sad every time.
So if we have any American listeners, let us know ahead of time. Like, we don't celebrate Thanksgiving, so let us know ahead of time when Thanksgiving's coming up, and we can.
We need like a month's notice, so I can just like pocket away like a week's worth of wages and just spend it on crap I'll never use.
Yep.
Yeah. Brilliant. Like it.
Sweet.
Wow. That's about all we've got so far, unless Static has something else to add. Another wonderful story of deals and stealing.
I'll try and find something for the next fortnight. But that was that's the first time I've seen anything like that happen, especially like with the two worlds sort of colliding like that. I had to say something, had to bring it up. It was pretty good.
Fair. Fucking Activision pricks. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, episode 100. Can we just take a moment? I've done this no, I haven't done this 100 times. It's been done.
I haven't either.
You haven't either. Oh my god. No one's. I mean, I'm 60. I don't get to 100 episodes until like 116. I think.
I don't know.
You've got catching up to do, son. But 100 episodes. I know things have been a bit weird the last couple of months. It's been a bit difficult for it to get episodes out. But for those who are still around, thank you so much for listening to our weekly load of bullshit. and us talking. We really do appreciate it. You guys have been phenomenal, and hopefully get another 100 episodes out. See if my soul can take it. It'd be great.
You got to buy that back from Jeff Keighley.
Yeah, eventually I'll find out. I'll work out another deal. It depends though. If I get this show host gig, you know, I'll just turn that into the podcast once a year, yearly podcast, game of the year cast. Guys, thanks so much. Thanks so much for listening. Static, where can the people find you if you would like them to find you?
You can find me at Gutter to Gutter Podcast, Gutter to Gutter Podcast, if I can say words coherently. The number 2, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You'll also find us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and Anchor. Pretty much all the same places you find Two Left Thumbs.
So there you go. If you're listening to this on your favorite casting choice, just Gutter to Gutter. Type it in. And if you like cars, I promise you won't regret it. Static's a fantastic podcaster and a good dude. And you should listen to some of the shit he says because it's pretty cool.
Thank you, man.
You're welcome. You can find me over on the Twitter and the Twitch at deft_puppies with a motherfucking Z. If you would like to get in touch with the cast directly, you can find us on Twitter at leftpod. You can also join our Discord, which is linked in the description below. And also on YouTube, where we will get back to uploading eventually. Things are a bit weird with my setup at the moment, so I'm working on that. You can find us there, where we usually stream the episodes live and then have the VOD there for you to catch later if you like to see our faces. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening. Have a wonderful fortnight. We'll be back in 2 weeks, unless something amazing happens in the meantime. Thank you for listening. Okay, bye.
Bye.